The first drill and concept I want to teach you about is to screw your back leg in. If you want to throw harder, but your foundation of your back leg or your legs in general are not set up for success, it will make it more difficult. So here's what I want you to do with your back leg. I want you to imagine that you are taking your back knee, I'm a lefty, and you're gonna screw this thing and your foot into the ground. What that does is create a really, really strong anchor from which you're able to move with control, and then you're able to come out of that screw and unscrew it really fast when you go into rotation. So what I like to tell guys, my favorite cue to give them is to root their toes, which is spread their toes like this. Then they're gonna take their knee and screw it. And then when they come set, the idea is to maintain that tension that they've created as long as possible. The next concept is going to be imagining a fire pole. If you're anything like me as a little kid and my 4-year-old son, you love fire trucks. If not, that's okay. You understand the concept though, that in a fire station, they usually have that big long pole that you go all the way down. Now what's cool about this pole is it is stagnant, it does not move, it is straight up and down. So there is no tilting, wobbling, or anything of the sort. When you want to use your back leg, as coaches are telling you, or when you want to bend more with your back leg, what I see a lot of guys doing is they will try to take their head lower or take their knees lower. So it becomes a knee or a head dominant movement as opposed to a spine dominant movement. So what I want you to think about, imagine that you are on a fire pole and you're going down and you're taking that thing lower and lower. If I take my head forward, I would run into that pole. If I try to take my knees forward, I wouldn't really go as low, and eventually I'm just not as strong because my heels pop up, just like when I'm trying to squat. So imagine that you are going straight down that pole. Now this movement will be as you go down the mound. It's not a straight up, straight down, and then out, but it's up, and then as you're going down the mound, you imagine that fire pole, and then you go to throw. Lastly, I want to talk about a shrinking cave. For the shrinking cave, I just came up with this for this video because I've used a bunch of different analogies and I wanted to switch it up a little bit. The idea and concept of a shrinking cave, or if you've ever watched Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, is that if you want to use your back leg to improve your pitching mechanics, to get more energy and to throw harder, we need you to get lower. So a shrinking cave gradually gets lower. And if you think of taking your body through this narrow cave, so let's say it's narrow so you can't bop your head forward or anything, or bop your knees forward, but it's a narrow cave and you're trying to get lower through the cave and you eventually have to, I guess you're gonna have to go sideways into this cave. So let's imagine it's a sideways entry only into that cave and it gradually gets lower. So I want you to imagine that cave shrinking, which will take your body lower when you pitch, and it's a gradual thing. So you're not going up as you lift, but as you lift, you will start to move forward and gradually get lower, envisioning in front of you a sideways shrinking cave. To get more healthy pitching mechanics drills, make sure you subscribe to this page so it continues to show up on your feed.